the grind of the schedule start to hit you at a certain point in the season, whether it's
I kind of knew early on. I said, oh boy, this is every day. It's pretty time consuming, and I knew that. But it's been 10 years. I guess maybe I forgot a little bit. But yeah, the grind of the season. It's a long season, and you got to be in it 100. You got to be in it for 100%. Your heart's got to be in 100%, and I just can't give that to the organization right now. I can't give them 100% because it is full time.
You got to feel like you made some progress with some of the kids.
I
like
did. I felt like
Blackman, people like that.
I think so. Pool was fun. I felt like I got him to look for a curveball once in a while. But they're pretty good hitters. On their own right. They just being positive is hopefully more important.
What would you take from this experience, and do you want to do it again?
I learned it a lot. I doubt I would ever. I'd be scared to try it again. To be honest with you, it was time consuming. I'd be scared to. I'll probably hang out in spring training with you guys. Now and then. Dick made sure I was invited to come back to spring training. So that'd be my baseball fix. I think for now on out. I got two boys in this, so I'll be running around quite a bit the next 10 years, 15 years. Who knows? Hopefully.
Dante, guys you really like talking, hitting with you?
You know what? My favorite guy to talk hitting to was probably Cuddy. Because I think we're from the same, cut from the same cloth there as far as hitting. We love to talk, sitting on a pitch and this and that with him. But all of them were great to talk. I love professionalism, especially Tulo. He's a winner. I mean, he really, showed up to win every day. And Bull was fun. And, I could go on and on. Blackman, DJ, beginning their careers. Nolan, it was, gosh, all of them were great to work with. They were blessed.
Dante, as you look down the road, this crop here, who do you feel has made the greatest amount of progress in the time you've been here?
Probably Rosario. I do believe, he's becoming a hitter, and not just a talent. And he probably learned a little bit about himself this year on how the league's going to go about getting him out, and we talked about that quite a bit. That probably was my biggest influence, I guess, if I were to, I don't know if you'd say that. But, Nolan got over the hump. I think he's a big league player, and to be honest with you, you just have to get out of his head and let him hit. So you learn, I learned a lot. So if I didn't do it again, I would have it better. I'd probably chase it a different way, and not so much different, but I'd know a lot more.
Did anything surprise you in a positive way in terms of how much you enjoyed this different perspective and what you were doing in this angle of the game?
Yeah, it was all positive. It was all positive. Being back around again, I love being around people that are chasing something really cool like this. That's what really probably the lure was, to get back and chase something really cool like this. But I got that at home with the boys where they were chasing it too, and it was all positive. All positive. Good people. I tell you, the coaching staff's unbelievably cool. They worked hard, man. They're professional, worked hard. I think Walt's got a chance to be a great manager. He's a rookie manager, but he's got a chance to be a great manager. And being around him and his sense of people, he has a good sense of things. I wish him the best.
Did you have conversations? I know how much you and Walt would talk about hitting on the plains and at different times. Did you have any conversations with him trying to keep you here and say, there's this first year is jarring, it would get easier? Did you talk? Did he try to convince you to stay?
I don't know if Walt knows. His first year also. We had conversations because we're in a similar, he's got boys that are, starting to leave the home too. But he lives here, so it's much easier. My boys are, in Florida. And we did talk about it quite a bit, how the tug from home. We did talk about it quite a bit. So he understands where I'm coming from. I think he understands me probably as good as anybody.
Out of curiosity, Mike Production, 60 points higher than his career average, and he's chasing a batting title. That's got to be your influence. So what was different with him?
Cuddy is the most consistent. Probably had the most consistent approach all year. Same routine. We didn't talk mechanics really, and I think that's where you can go wrong up here. Is get involved in the mechanics a whole lot. We just talked baseball, man, and I learned probably as much or more from him than he learned from me. But we enjoyed. I think we enjoyed talking baseball, me and him, he's just a great hitter, and he's found his stride this year. And, you know, it was a good year for him.
How satisfying is it to see Todd Helton his last couple games, his last year in the big leagues?
You know, I think, you know, as soon as Todd announced that he was going to retire, you see he started to play pretty darn good. You know, I think he's probably put some pressure on himself the last few years to perform, and now there's no pressure, and he's realizing he can still hit. So it's really cool to see him finish strong. You know, it's going to be tough for him because, you know, he takes more swing in the cages than anybody I've seen. So, you know, maybe he keeps his bat cage at home and keeps hitting in the cage, but it'll be an experience for him to not be ready for spring training next year. But I'm glad he's had a great career.
There have been plenty of people who've been able to, I don't know plenty, but coaches who've been able to coach their sons in the big leagues. Is that something that would be tempting if that opportunity came up for you?
You know what, like I said, it's every day, man. It's been a grind.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them, so not being able to get to one of them would be a tough. Maybe throw both on the same team. And Mariana, my wife, gosh, man, she really needs the credit this year. And I'm not kidding. 251 hotel rooms she's paid for this year. She texted me, and that's before Bo played in the tournament this weekend. So you can add 3 to that, and the season ain't over yet. Okay, because she's always buying a coach's hotel room and then flying in here, and then she flies both boys in. You know, when they're done, if they can come visit me, and then she's somewhere and the other one's somewhere. I mean, it's crazy. So that you know, I probably miscalculated on how draining it would be on our family when I started this. To be honest with you. Time.
What is your take from a hitting coach's perspective now of the home road issue? You guys started out great. It's been a grind in the second half. Cargo's been hurt different times. Dexter's been out. But do you have a better fix on why the splits are what they are now? Is it from a coach's perspective?
Yeah, I still feel very similar to how I felt before about the home road split. It's always going to be a difficult thing because we stay here when the ball doesn't break, and then we go on the road. And those first 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the road, you're scrambling because the ball's breaking, the guy's pitching you different, and by the time you kind of get your feet, then you're back home again in the light air and the ball's flat again. And you know, we've tried to address it with some things, but I think it's just going to always be there. That's why I think this team has to build their team around winning ball games in Coors Field. And you know, in that one year where you can kind of get it right on the road and sneak out a couple tight wins, maybe the bullpen picks you up. That's a year you'll probably go to the playoffs, you know, and that's a year you got a shot. But you know, that's my take on it.
It's just going to be there. It's not. There's no magic bean.
I don't think I think it's one of those things. Some years some players will hit on the road well, you know, and maybe if they can get some momentum on the road,
right.
You know, because first half of the season we were one of the best offensive teams on the road, with the power at least I know,
right.
You know, but the big thing is we got hurt and we weren't able to send our best hitters out there, and I think that really, you know, because I think we were heading in the right place on the road. I think we led all baseball for a while there with home runs on the road. First half of the season, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible. I mean, you got to kind of get that, you know, like anything, if you're going to do something special, you got to get momentum going. And we had some going, and then everybody got
All right. Thanks, Dante.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Dante, thank you.
Thanks.